Good morning, afternoon, or night, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Real Pre-Workout Reviews. I'm your host, John, aka Real Tall, and I will be taking you through a journey as we explore a brand new pre-workout. And we're going to rate that pre-workout in terms of taste, performance in the gym, post and during workout crash, and value. Using those four metrics put together, we are going to rate our selected pre-workout on a scale of 0 to 5. And through that, I'm going to let you know whether it's something that you should check out, if it makes a lot of sense for you and your workout type, or if it's a pre-workout flop. And today, real ones, I am excited to share with you one that was recently recommended by a friend named Dyslexic Heathen on here. And he recommended God of Rage Unchained by Centurion Labz. He also recommended God of War, but God of Rage is what I decided I wanted to dive into first. Now, if you watched the show before, you know I'm going to be 100% honest, brutally so sometimes, and all these metrics that we talked about and my experience with the pre-workout overall. With that said, I want to let you all know and take a moment to thank Centurion Labz. They actually were kind enough to send this out to me when I reached out to them. So thank you so much, Centurion Labz, for sending this over. That was really incredibly gracious of you. I really appreciate it. And to the viewers, just know it's not going to change my review. Please feel free to browse some previous ones. I've been lucky enough to be hooked up with several pre-workouts, and it's never affected how I rate these. So please know you're going to get the full, honest truth. And like my tagline says, we're going to stay real. All right, but enough of my chit chat and my yammering. Let's get into this. We are going to put God of Rage Unchained to the test in terms of taste, first and foremost. After this taste test that you're about to see, you're going to get the rating from me, and then we're going to dive right into my workout that I do while on this pre-workout. Today is a chest day. We're kind of trying to get those bench numbers up, everybody. Hell yeah. I don't know where that came from. It just felt right. So follow me on that, but then we're going to come back after that to do the performance, crash, and value of this pre-workout together. So today we are putting Baja Blaze to the test. I'm not sure if you can see that. Apologize for the bright studio lighting here. One, I gotta say the packaging is pretty fucking cool. Gonna give it to you there. And we're gonna put the Baja Blaze flavor to the test today, which I'm assuming is pretty close to Baja Blast, which I'm very excited to try. I haven't seen this flavor anywhere else, so props to Centurion Labz for being the ones that come out with it. At least my first exposure to it, but I'm excited to put it to the test. Let's get it. I'm using 12 ounces of water. It recommends 6 to 12, but it also gives a half scoop and a full scoop dosing, depending on your tolerance level. I'm going the full scoop because I'm me. So I'm going to go the full recommended serving dose, which is 12 ounces and 1 full scoop. All right, now my personal favorite part, as you all know, the powder drop. Oh, baby. Ah, glorious. Shake your groove bang, shake that groove bang. Let's do this thing, real ones. Cheers. I always take a second one. Hang with me. I'm still trying to decipher the flavor a little bit, but it is very good. It's quite good. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't expecting to hit this well. Slight bit of artificialness to it, but not nearly as much as other pre-workouts. Has a slight bit of chalkiness on the back end too, so I want to be upfront about that. But the flavor itself is nice. It's got a bit of sourness to it, so it's definitely got some of that lemon. I think there's probably some pineapple-ish flavor to it. I'm not 100% sure, but it's very good. Apologies for any blip in the camera. This camera's been a little on the fritz recently. Might be time to upgrade. It's quite good. The aftertaste, there's a little bit of that chalkiness, like I mentioned, a little bit of that artificial, so that's going to keep it from getting perfect marks. But it is quite tasty. It's good amount of sour. It's got some depth of that flavor in there, and this could go down easy. I can see this working quite well because of kind of those those couple of factors holding it back from perfect, but coupled with a really good taste here, I'm going to go ahead and rate this pre-workout a 4.3 in terms of taste. I think it's got a lot of good flavor here. It's definitely a unique flavor I haven't tasted elsewhere in pre-workouts. Doesn't 100% hit the mark, so I think 4.3 is right about where it belongs, but it is tasty, and it goes down pretty well. So, mad props to Centurion Labz. All right, real ones, as we know, taste is only a part of our formula here. So let's go ahead and dive into that workout. You're gonna see the full workout there, all the different stuff I do, top sets, working sets, accessories, main lifts, all of it. When we come back, we're gonna go ahead and rate it in those other 3 ratings in terms of performance, crash, and value. So stick with it. If you don't want to stick with it and you just want to get right to the ratings, please feel free to use the chapter links below. They'll skip you to any portion you care about the most, or just skip to the end and get the rating. I get it. Trust me. I'm a pretty short form YouTube consumer myself, so please do what you got to do. But I appreciate you being here. Let's get after it. Cue the clip. Welcome back, real ones. It's time to dive right back into the thick of things with the performance rating for God of Rage. Coming off that solid taste, we're going to keep that ball rolling. The performance here was very good. It was not, to me, great, though. Let me tell you why. There's a lot of good stuff in this pre. I'm going to be perfectly honest about that. There's a lot of things that are dosed correctly, and on paper should really hit quite well. But for me, it was only good. It was not like blowing me away. I was not reaching new heights, and it didn't quite hold a hat to some of the other higher stim beastly pre-workouts I've had in the past. I know that kind of comes across pretty negative, but all that is to say that it is a very solid pre-workout. I use it a few times to particularly test one element that we're going to talk about in a little bit, but I did have good workouts each time I used it, so I do want to be perfectly honest about that. It just kind of left me wanting a little bit more for the level, the level that this pre-workout kind of exists at. So for those reasons, I'm going to go ahead and rate it accordingly at a 4.2 in terms of performance. Now the element that I got to talk about here. This one was jittery for me. All 3 times I tried it, I wanted to make sure I wasn't making a mistake. I didn't have, an empty stomach when I shouldn't have had or something like that. The jitters were rough. Definitely not the worst I've had, and definitely not the worst we've reviewed here. I want to be perfectly honest about that. But during my workout, I was getting handshakes. My heart was beating a little extra fast, and I'm quite a stim junkie. So I was kind of surprised at that. With that said, no other real problems with the crash. I didn't have a hard come down. It didn't hit me like a brick wall. The energy did definitely taper off effectively. So that's what really saves the crash rating here for me. But I do have to mark it down significantly for that jittery factor. Again, I'm taking high stim pre-workouts pretty much every day. I am used to this kind of thing, and it's still something about what was in it. The combination thereof just got me a little more messed up than I'd like to be. If you're not susceptible to that, then it could be a really solid option for you. Just for me, it has to bring the score down a bit. So that's why for the crash, I'm going to go ahead and rate it a 3.5. The jitters definitely did kind of get in the way of my workout a little bit, so feel like that rating's pretty spot on there. And last but certainly not least, let's go ahead and talk about the value of God of Rage. Again, I do want to be fully transparent on this one. Centurion Labz was nice enough to hook me up with this pre-workout, so clearly the value to me is incredible. With that said, as you know, and as I hope you've seen by now, it's not going to temper my review of this product. In terms of value, though, you're getting 25 servings, and you're getting it for $53. So to me, it does set itself up as kind of that mid to upper range pre-workout where you're starting to get into those higher cost per servings. With that said, at this price range is kind of expected. The thing that keeps it from top marks in terms of value for me is that I don't feel it's quite delivering enough performance, enough smooth performance to justify that price point. For the average pre-workout person, $53 isn't out of the question, but that's definitely kind of starts to be the tipping point of I want to really make sure I'm getting a good bang for my buck. Just speaking bluntly, I don't feel that this gets nearly the same bang for the buck as some of the other ones we've tried. You're getting what you pay for. It's not bad. It's just not incredible. It's not such a deal that I would recommend running out and getting it as fast as you can. Now, if it's on sale, that's another question. I'm assuming it's going to give some of you some really good workouts here, so it might be worth checking out if that price point is right for you. So for all those reasons, I'm going to go ahead and give God of Rage a 4.1 in terms of overall value. Now, real ones, it's time for that overall rating of God of Rage by Centurion Labz. Just as a recap, we have a 4.3 in terms of taste, a 4.2 in terms of performance during the workout, a 3.5 in terms of the post and during workout crash, and then a 4.1 in overall value of the pre. Putting those all together and averaging them out, that comes to an overall rating of... It's a 4.03, everybody. That puts it on the ranks of some of our heavier hitting pre-workouts. It's definitely among some solid company at that range there. So if you're curious about what other is around the 4 range, go check out the playlist. Check it out. It'll probably be up here too, but probably down there somewhere as well. Do me a favor, check it out. Maybe you might find another pre-workout that you will resonate more with your style of lifting and what you're looking for in a pre-workout. With that said, I'm very happy that I got a chance to try God of Rage. I can see where it could really help you out, assuming that you're a little bit resistant to the jitteriness of some of these pre-workouts. Could just be I'm sensitive to an ingredient there. I'm not 100% sure why that is. But thank you, real ones. Now, please let me know in the comments below what pre-workout you want to see next. What's that one that you have been dying to hear some real, no bullshit reviews of to determine if you want to try it yourself? Let me know. I try to get all my ideas out of you. And on that note, thank you, Dyslexic Heathen, for recommending God of Rage. And thank you again to Centurion Labz for hooking it up for me. And yes, this is the part of the video where I ask you to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. And I really appreciate you. Thanks, Booze. You're the best. Go get in the gym, real ones. Kick some ass. Take some names. Whatever you do, stay fucking real.